Well, howdy there, folks. How's it going today? I hope everybody's doing really good. Today we got a Yamaha acoustic on the bench. This is let's take a look in the sound hole here. This is an SJ180, similar to a Triple O Martin style body size. And it's got mahogany back and sides, double bound. I actually lost some of the repair video on this one, but I'll explain this to you anyway. Okay, so if you guys been following along on the channel, I've been doing some work on a Squier Affinity Telecaster here lately, and this guitar here belongs to that gentleman's wife, so they each are getting back into playing, and they wanted me to fix their guitars up so they could actually play them, without hurting your fingers and cutting them on the sharp fret ends, that kind of thing. So this one here, I could literally stick my finger under the string up here on the fretboard extension. The action was so high, it was unbelievable. It was unplayable. I mean, I couldn't even play it. So what I had to do was shave down the saddle on the bridge. I've taken it to about its extreme right now. I wouldn't want to go any lower than that. And I had to actually slot the holes out in the bridge pins to get some more break angle here over the saddle. Now, we've cut the action more than in half, and it's quite playable now. So what I did do, though, is this, and this might help some of you guys out. Now, I checked the neck angle with my gauge here. Okay, so you can see with the straight edge sitting on the frets here, it's a little below the bridge itself, so this is in neck reset territory. Now, it was worse than this before. This had probably, I'm going to say, at least 12 or 13 gauge strings on it, okay? And what I just showed you, where the straight edge was below the bridge by probably 1/8 of an inch, it was double that with the strings that were on it. So what I did was I shaved the saddle down as much as I could and slotted out the bridge pinholes here, and to get break angle. And I put a set of 10 through 48s, I think these are. Yeah, I run these on guitars that have problems or troubles. If the bridge is starting to dip down into the top, you're getting dip up here by the fretboard extension, just to lengthen the life of it, maybe go to a lighter gauge string. Now, I know they don't sound as good as heavier ones do on an acoustic, but it's either play it or not play it, in these circumstances. So I'll let you guys check out some of the repair, and it's basically just slotting these out because I did lose the video, but it does play a lot better, and the action is quite a bit lower. It's as low as I can get it without resetting the neck. And, like I said, I just wanted to point out that, by lowering the saddle here, we've got a lot straighter pull. When the saddle's up tall, the break angle's a lot greater too, but it will also want to, fold the guitar in half. So it's nice to have a nice straight pull if you can achieve it, and that will definitely add some longevity to it. So the next move, like I said, would be to do a neck reset on this. I suppose you could pull the bridge off it and shave that down some too, but the wings are pretty thin. Now, you could probably take some off the top. Honestly, the best remedy is to remove the neck, change the neck angle, put a taller saddle on there, and be done with it. But the thing of it is you know, to do something like that, it's almost, you know, you might almost be better off to buy another guitar at that point, you know. You don't want to spend, you know, $400 or $500 on a neck reset when, you know, you could buy a nice guitar for that. If it is your first guitar that has sentimental value, well, that's different. So every scenario can be a little different, is my point. But you know, it is a nice guitar. It sounds really nice, and it's playable again. And that's really the end goal in this stuff, right? So I'll switch over to that repair video, let you guys check out what I did capture, and then we'll do a nice video and play it and see what it sounds like. So just keep going to the end, and I'll also put the sound demo time in the description, so you guys can just skip to that if you want to do that too. Okay, here you go. Okie doke. Well, I've lowered the saddle down as far as I'm going to go with that. And I also put my neck gauge back on there. And without string tension on it, it actually lands about on the same elevation as the front of the bridge. So I think what I'm going to do, has some pretty heavy gauge strings on it as well. So I'm going to put some 10 through 48 acoustic strings on it. And I've also lengthened out these slots here where the bridge pins are. And I used this little diamond file to do it. And the reason I did that was to make sure we got some break angle. If they break right at the hole, it's going to actually make this a lot longer break angle. If you get it up closer to the saddle here, it'll be a steeper angle. So I think that will help out quite a bit. I don't know if it'll be enough, but I think it's going to be pretty handy. So that's what we've got going right now. And I also shaved a little bit off the bottom of the nut here. And I may take that a little bit more, but I think what I'm going to do is put some strings on her right now and see what we got. I'm going to put some fretboard conditioner on the fretboard too. It's pretty dry. Okay, today we're going to use some PRS fretboard conditioner. Just a drop on each one, that's all you need. And I've been using some Fender brand lately too, which I like a lot. It works quite well. This PRS stuff works nice too. This one has definitely needed some fretboard conditioner. It's really dry. I mean, that's just wicking that stuff right in almost immediately. Yeah, well, it's cleaning it. That's a good thing. Ugh. Well, you know, that's part of it. I usually try to clean this stuff up before I work on it, just so I'm not touching old finger gunk and whatnot, but sometimes it's almost as good just to wait till the end. So, you know, I gotta clean it anyway and put some conditioner on it, so sometimes I do wait, but there. Alright, I'm gonna let that soak up a little bit and wipe it off again, and then we'll put some strings on it, see what we got. So just to show you folks, with this gauge on here, brings it in there pretty handy. So with no string tension, it's a lot better. That's my camera stand creaking. Now, I don't know if you guys have, some of you may have seen this and may not have seen this, but what this allows me to do, if the straight edge goes below the bridge, what I can actually do is loosen this bolt up and pick up on the end closest to the bridge, which is going to make this angle change at the body joint. And then simply all I do is make sure that this part of the rule is touching up tight to the body joint, I'll usually see a gap, usually, up here in the corner, up by the top. And I'll simply just measure that gap, transfer it to the bottom, make a line, a reference line, or even a piece of tape. Then I know how much I got to take off the heel to achieve that elevation here by the bridge and saddle. It's pretty simple, but it works very well, and there's no math involved. I just measure the angle and put it on the bottom side of the heel, remove that much, boom. Works great every single time, no guesswork. Okay, so we've managed to cut the action by 50% in height, and it plays a lot easier with the 10 gauge strings on it. And it really doesn't sound that bad either, actually. So I think what we're going to do is call this one good. For now, I may file a few more of the nut slots out. There's a couple that could go down a little bit, and that would help it play a little better down in the first positions. Now, this will be playable for quite a few years. I'm sure the string pull is a lot different here now as far as the angle is concerned, which will help, from trying to fold the guitar in half. It's a lot straighter. This is as good as I can get this without doing a neck reset on it. So, it is respectable. It's playable. I mean, it gets higher as you get up here, towards the body joint. But, playing chords in the first 5 or 6 positions, it's pretty decent, really. You can only do so much without cutting the neck off or trying to steam it out of there. In a case like this, unless I knew for sure there was a dovetail in there and it wasn't epoxy, I would probably cut the neck off and do a bolt-on conversion. But in any case, it sounds a lot better than it did, and it plays definitely a lot easier. So, the heavy gauge strings, unless you're used to them, they feel a little hard on your fingers. But if you add high action into the mix, now it feels like you're playing a set of 16 gauge strings, not 13s, okay? So hopefully this will definitely seem a lot better as far as playability and ease of playing to the owner. And I'll just explain, what would have to be done to make this guitar right. And, let them decide. They may just want to purchase a different guitar. Or, they might be fine with it just the way it is. And in either case, that is good with me. So, thanks again for tuning in, folks. And we'll see you guys real soon. Okie doke. Alright, well, it sounds okay. It really could use some frets too. These babies are worn pretty close to the wood here, but it is playable. It was not playable when it came in here, so it's got a nice even ring to it. Pretty good volume too with those 10 gauge strings. Pretty impressive. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.